This is exactly how I lost 12 kilograms in 90 days easily by rewiring my brain without being disciplined. Now, this upcoming video is going to be one of the best, most in-depth videos on making this transformation and getting shredded that you're ever going to see. So I need you to lock in for the next 30 to 40 minutes. Now, there's not going to be any dopamine edits in this video. So if that's a problem for you, as harsh as it sounds, you probably don't have what it takes to lose, 12 kilograms in 90 days easily or make this transformation. But I know that you watching this right now do have what it takes. You've just got to lock in and watch this video. If I can do it, you can do it too. So let's get straight on with it. Before I implemented exactly what I'm about to lay out for you, I was so grossly out of shape at 93 kilograms. I had man boobs. Look at these. Oh my God. It honestly disgusts me to look back at this picture and to just visualize myself back in this position. I had saggy love handles. Look at this. I was struggling with my self-confidence and I was very, very insecure. I always felt below other people and worse than other people just because of the way that my body looked. I didn't have good genetics, as you can see, and I pretty much started out with the worst physique at literally rock bottom. But after implementing exactly what I'm about to tell you, I finally managed to get down to 70 kilograms, or if I'm being a little bit more specific, 68 kilograms. I saw my abs for the first time. I didn't even know I had abs. As stupid as that sounds, because I'd never seen them before, I was unsure as if I literally had the physical ab muscles underneath. But lo and behold, I uncovered my abs for the first time. I lost my love handles. Literally, the difference here is fucking insane. You can literally see that V line that I desperately wanted to get. Lo and behold, I got it. I literally had a newfound sense of confidence that I never ever had before in my life. Now, the most important thing that I gained from making this transformation was that I had taken control of my life. I wasn't just floating by life anymore. I wasn't just going with the flow. I had taken life by the balls and I had made it mine. Now, I understand exactly what it's like to be on both of these sides, which is why I've built this entire system just for you so that you can follow it and pretty much just get results on autopilot. Okay, you don't have to think too much about it. Just follow exactly what I'm about to tell you and you can get this for yourself. Now, who is this video for? This video is for the people that want to lose 12 kilograms in the next upcoming 90 days and to finally see abs for the first time in your life. This video is for you. If you want to stop making excuses for yourself and finally take control of you and your body, this video is for you. If you're sick and tired of hating the person that you see in the mirror, avoiding photos being taken of you in public, feeling invisible in social situations, this is for you. If you've tried diet after diet only to keep binging and falling off track, this video is for you. Now, if you want more respect from men and more attention from women, this video is for you. Now, I've just been through who this video is for, but who is this video not for? If you're looking for a quick fix or a magic pill or some sort of shortcut to getting you shredded and changing your life, this is for you. Just please do yourself and do me a favor as well and just click off the video now. Just save yourself 30, 40 minutes. If you're not willing to take responsibility for your actions and for your life, and you keep on blaming your genetics, your metabolism, or slow progress, this video is not for you. If you'd rather stay stuck, complain about your situation and keep on scrolling on Instagram, looking for the next best video that's going to get you shredded, instead of finally making a change for yourself, this video is not for you. If you're looking for some sort of balanced approach that lets you eat whatever you want and still get shredded, you can find some other person on the internet to try and teach you that. But this video is not for you. if you're still okay with looking like a skinny fat man-child instead of having a physique that commands respect, this video is not for you. Now, here is the harsh truth about getting shredded that literally no one else online will tell you. Getting lean and hitting 12% body fat isn't just about diet and exercise. And that is precisely why most guys fail to lose the weight. You can absolutely get an aesthetic, shredded physique without constantly forcing yourself to eat clean. Or you can do it without being disciplined. As crazy as that sounds, I did it, so you can do it as well. Most important, you don't have to have good genetics to get an aesthetic physique. I literally started off with the worst body type that you can ever have. It's that skinny fat naan-bread physique. It's literally the worst body type, and I still made incredible progress because of what I'm about to tell you. Now, most people aren't capable of doing this because they fundamentally don't know how to rewire their brain so that fat loss is a natural byproduct and just second nature of who they are. In other words, their identity blocks them from them losing weight and to changing their life. They don't know how to break free of the conditioning that they've gone through and solidified through the course of their entire life. Most importantly, they don't understand how to create an identity shift that makes being disciplined and doing all the good habits feel automatic and second nature, instead of feeling like they force themselves to do that every single day just to lose the weight. But I got good news for you. If you're watching this, you're already on the right track to stopping yourself from making all of these mistakes. Now, there is no such thing as just be in a 500 calorie deficit, bro, and move more. If you want to lose weight and if you want to get shredded and get that aesthetic physique. If you want to lose weight quickly and look aesthetic, this is not the full picture here. So many other fitness influencers and fitness people online, they tell you just stick to a 500 calorie deficit, walk 10k steps and you'll lose the weight. But if that was the full picture, you wouldn't still be struggling right now. Why haven't you if it was that simple, why haven't you lost the weight already? If you've been doing all of that shit, why haven't you lost the weight? The real reason is that your brain is literally conditioned to overeat and to self-sabotage you whenever you try and turn your life for the better. Most people don't realize that their environment, their habits, and their dopamine reward loops in their brain are keeping them overweight and keeping them fat and stuck in the same position that they are right now. Most people just assume that they lack the willpower or they lack the discipline to lose the weight and to get shredded. But the fact is their own brain is literally wired against them. And all it takes is to rewire your brain. And if you're ready to make that person you, I'm going to show you exactly how to break free from this conditioning that's currently keeping you fat and overweight. Number 2, make discipline and clean eating feel so automatic that fat loss becomes effortless. I'll show you exactly how to shift your identity so that getting lean literally becomes second nature to you without struggling with cravings or, having to expend willpower every single second of the day. By the end of this, you're going to have the exact roadmap to rewire your brain for effortless fat loss. So let's get straight into it, boys. But before that, if you don't know me already, here is a brief backstory as to how I ended up in this position. Now, I've spent my entire life as the fat kid, okay? You can literally see me here. I think in this picture, I'm about 16 or 17. I've literally spent my whole life overweight from the age of 8 all the way to 20 or 21. I literally had no respect from others, no respect for myself, most importantly, no confidence, and I was always stuck in a binge diet cycle. This means I would always try and go on a diet. I would succeed for 3 days, and then I would go back to binging on my favorite foods. I was literally, at this point, I was obsessed with fitness YouTube, but I made zero progress. I tried the gym, okay? I got a little bit stronger week on week, and I thought, yeah, this is it. This is what's going to get me shredded. But I kept on gaining the weight, and I even looked worse after I started the gym. Like, how funny is that? Now, I realized my problem wasn't the diet, so it wasn't the workouts, it wasn't any of that. It was utterly and solely my mindset. I was literally fighting against my own brain. Now, at this point, I've studied psychology for like 5 years, but I'd never once thought to apply it to my weight loss and like to my fitness journey. And if you're wondering, like where I got the 5 years from, I studied 2 years in college and 3 years in university, and I achieved some of literally the highest grades possible that you can ever get in psychology. So I do technically, I know what I'm talking about, right? And so once I did actually apply all of the shit that I've learned, I cracked the code and I rewired my brain. I literally lost the last 12 kilograms in 3 months, literally effortlessly, without struggling or without relying on willpower or discipline. Now, people in the gym, right, because I was previously fat and previously really, really self-conscious, I was literally scared of talking to people in the gym. I wouldn't even like try and make eye contact with them. But literally after I'd lost the weight, I was walking with like an air of like confidence and like newfound respect for myself. And literally people noticed and like they came up to me. I didn't go up to them. I didn't start speaking to them. They wanted to speak to me. And they were like asking how like I did it and stuff. And so literally I told them, like I laid out everything for them just as I'm about to do for you. And like they came back like a couple of weeks later, like 2 or 3 weeks later, and they were telling me that they actually found things way, way easier than before. And then I had the idea to like start documenting all of this stuff and to start teaching people online, right? So I tested this system, and literally everyone who's used it has broken free from food cravings and has lost weight without suffering, as you might have done before in the past. And at that point, that's exactly when I knew that I had something different from all of these other people online who might offer you some training programs or might say in their like coaching programs, oh yeah, just eat in a 500 calorie deficit, just walk the 10k steps, do this, do that. That's when I knew I had something different. It wasn't just another like restrictive diet. It wasn't just go walk 10,000 steps a day, bro. It was a proven system to lose 12 kilograms, to get abs, and to reach 10% body fat effortlessly. As you can see, the differences here are fucking incredible. Like, look at the way that my face shape changed. This is genuinely what I used to look like. And this is what I look like after. This is what my back used to look like. You can also see like all the love handles that we talked about previously. Here, a thick, strong, muscular back with literally virtually no love handles here. And this is what I look like from the front. And this is what I look like after. Like same position, like the way that I'm holding my phone has like stayed the same throughout the years, but my physique has changed incredibly. It's made incredible progress. And that's all because of this. Now, the mental mastery model, that is the exact system that I've built through all of the time that I've spent studying psychology for 5 years, trial and error, like trying to lose weight on my own for like 3+ years. I've been overweight for my entire life, but I've been trying to desperately lose weight for the last 3 years of my life. I've also poured in countless hours of my own in-depth research into fitness, nutrition, and literally all the psychological and scientific principles that can influence you on the journey to becoming lean. I did literally all of this to get you to that lean, muscular physique. And the best part is I've decided to break it all down for you right now. So in the next few minutes, I'll break down the entire process, A to Z, leaving no stone unturned of exactly what I did for myself and my clients to accomplish these results. So that you could basically just take this whole system and just like run with it. You can copy the entire thing to lose weight easily and get to that lean muscular physique that you want in literally 90 days or less. Now, here is the layout of the mental mastery model. Now, I've broken this down into a phasic 3-step structure, which will not only make you get shredded, but might just change your life forever. Now, phase number 1 is mastering your mind. Phase number 2 is the pillars of fat loss. And phase number 3 is the consistency paradigm. Mastering your mind is literally breaking free of all of that conditioning, how to reset your brain, and how to shift your identity. Now, the pillars of fat loss is basically exactly what you have to do in order to get shredded and to get to that lean physique. Now, the consistency paradigm, I've given you everything that you need to do, but the thing is, most people have everything that they need to do, but the thing is, they don't do it. They just don't do it for like a long enough time frame to see results. You can have the best fucking weight loss plan in the world. I could give you just the best plan in the entire world, but it doesn't mean shit if you don't stick to it. So the consistency paradigm takes care of that. So let's get straight into it, boys. Let me show you exactly how I optimized each phase for myself so that I rewired my brain to lose weight effortlessly. Number 1, mastering your mind. Breaking free from your chains of conditioning. Now, basically, the brain, right, builds associations with food and habits through classical and through operant conditioning. And you can see operant conditioning here, and you can see classical conditioning here. Now, what this is that, for example, I craved food just by entering the kitchen due to repeated past experiences. This is literally how people train dogs. If you tell a dog to sit and you give it a treat and you repeat that like over and over, throughout time, the dog's going to learn that sitting when he's told to sit is going to get him a treat. So obviously, that's exactly what he's going to do. Because food is a reward. Now, operant conditioning is based on the whole principle that rewards are introduced to increase a behavior happening in the future. So, what is food? How does this apply to us? Basically, I realized that I started craving food just from entering the kitchen due to repeated past experiences. Every single time that I had junk food specifically and like highly processed foods, I realized that the dopamine surge that I got from junk foods, I'd conditioned myself every time I felt like shit, every time I was bored, every time I didn't know what to do with my life, I would just go eat food because of the dopamine surge it gave me. And that built up associations and that reward of the junk food is what kept on pushing me to do it more and more. Now, the endocannabinoid system strengthens automatic eating habits, making food cravings unconscious and way, way harder to break. Now, I've just talked about conditioning with you, and here is scientific evidence. This is a fucking empirical study that I found. From lab to clinic, extinction of cued cravings to reduce overeating. You can literally go look this up for yourself. This is empirical evidence for, conditioning that causes overeating. Now, the endocannabinoid system basically strengthens all of these, conditioning behaviors that you've gone through, that you've built up and solidified through the course of your entire life. And it just makes it unconscious and way, way harder to break because it is unconscious. Now, this is the empirical evidence for the endocannabinoid system. It's critical for habit formation. Habits are formed when basically behaviors are done automatically, right? And that's why binging was such a huge problem for me, because I was just doing it unconsciously. Every single time that, I was bored or like I didn't want to do my work, I reached for snacks without even being like consciously aware of it, just because of this. Now, breaking all of these like conditioning behaviors, right, meant removing my triggers, because for conditioning, there has to be a trigger, right? So the trigger for me, right, was walking into the kitchen and seeing my favorite snacks, or like seeing the favorite like Oreo cookies on the counter. That was the trigger. Because like if you're like, say you're training a dog, right, the trigger is telling the dog to sit, and then you give him a treat. But telling him to sit, that's the trigger. So the trigger for me was walking into the kitchen and seeing Oreos. Every single time that happened, I would cheat on my diet and I would fuck up my entire weight loss journey. Now, that's the same as disrupting behavior chains. So you have to recognize all of your triggers and you have to reinforce new habits. So you've built up so many associations just like this through the course of your entire life. But the thing is, if you can make new associations, if you can change the pleasures of your life from food, from the dopamine spike that you get from like junk food and from like processed foods, if you can change it to the good habits such as exercising, that's when I saw the most amount of progress I've ever done in my entire life. Instead of turning towards junk food for comfort, I turned towards going to the gym or like completing my steps outside. Now, another big part of this is to reset your dopamine. Basically, what dopamine is, everyone online speaks about this kind of shit, right? But no one applies it towards weight loss specifically, right? Dopamine is known as the pleasure hormone, but basically what it does is that it literally controls your motivation, and your pleasure, right? But overstimulation of dopamine, through junk food, through social media, through like playing video games 24/7, leads to your dopamine regulators getting down regulated, which basically means most of your receptors in your brain get turned off, which basically means that every single time that you do all the healthy habits, they release less dopamine, which makes them feel less rewarding. Now, this is incredibly crucial. This was one of the biggest reasons why I lost the weight like so much easier than all the other times. And it's because I reset my dopamine systems, right? I cut out junk food entirely. I deleted all social media. I didn't play any video games. Now, what this meant was that going to the gym, going for the walk outside, completing my steps, eating clean, doing cardio, all of those habits gave me more dopamine, and that made me way more excited to do the less like exciting habits. Because think about it, in terms of comparison, when your day is filled with junk food, with scrolling on Instagram reels, right? Of course, taking a walk outside, doing your steps, of course that's going to feel boring and just dull and unrewarding compared to doing all of these behaviors. But the thing is, when you cut all of these out, all of the other ones, they skyrocket in excitedness. You basically do this by dopamine fasting. I just avoided high reward activities, which then reset my brain and made lower stimulation habits much more fulfilling for me, such as eating healthily. I saved my dopamine level for the good habits. Basically, I want you to picture dopamine as a full lemon. A person wakes up with a full lemon of dopamine every single day. All of these high dopaminergic activities, they squeeze the lemon so much more, and that leaves you with like a half lemon, right, of dopamine. Now, as we said before, dopamine is involved in motivational control. Basically, right, the more dopamine that you have available to spend, the more effort that you're going to put in to get to your goals. And that's exactly what this study shows over here. When rats had more dopamine, they would climb on top of more structures, expend more effort in order to get that big food reward at the end of that pile. But when they had less dopamine, they just couldn't be asked to, climb aboard, the steps to get the big food reward. And so they chose the smaller food reward just as like the lazy way out. And that's exactly what I was doing. I chose the lazy way out because I didn't want to feel uncomfortable going to the gym or doing the good habits. And so if you can save as much of your dopamine lemon for the day so that you have more juice or more dopamine in this case to spend for the good habits, that's a fucking cheat code. That's honestly such a good life hack, in order to get started and to actually get to your goals of achieving your physique. Now, this basically, dopamine fasting, allowed me to shift my reward system from instant gratification, such as junk food, over to more long-term fulfilling goals, such as making progress on my weight loss. This is the shift from dopamine to serotonin. Basically, serotonin is the happiness and fulfillment hormone, whereas dopamine is pretty much the instant gratification pleasure hormone. Have you ever had one of those days where you've worked incredibly hard on like a project or on like something that you really care about? Now, at the end of that day, you're pretty much just exhausted, right? But then you go to bed feeling incredibly fulfilled. Now, the weird thing is you didn't do that many dopaminergic activities. You didn't scroll on your phone. You didn't eat any junk food. You didn't play video games. But you went to bed feeling incredibly fulfilled. That's because you were operating more on the serotonin system. But the thing is, when you have a day filled with dopamine, when you wake up first thing and you eat junk food, you wake up and you scroll social media, at the end of that day, according to your dopamine system, you've had a very pleasurable day, right? But then why is it that you go to bed feeling like utter shit? And it's because you were operating on the dopamine system. Now, a huge part of this dopamine reset was just cutting out processed and junk food, right? Avoiding it for long enough made natural foods taste way better, and I literally eliminated all of my cravings. Like, if you don't believe me, sugar is literally worse than a cocaine addiction. Now, strong statement, I know, but that's basically what this study shows us. Intense sweetness surpasses cocaine reward. Basically, what this means is that researchers, they presented rats the choice between sweetened sugar water, which is basically saccharin over here, and literal cocaine. Now, the rats, they all chose, virtually all rats preferred the sweetened sugar water literally over cocaine, which is a highly addictive drug. And so once I broke free, that's why junk food is so fucking addicting, because it's got so much sugar in it. That's why you keep on feeling, compelled to go and binge eat. And so cutting this out was literally one of the biggest needle movers in my weight loss journey. Now, identity shifting. Your current identity dictates your actions right now. Basically, your identity is filled up of your past experiences, of your self-image, of what you think about yourself and your beliefs. Basically, people filter all new information through their existing self-image, which literally, if you've got a shit self-image or a shit identity, you can block literally any changes that you make to yourself. For example, self-fulfilling prophecies. This is the research evidence. And basically, what it means is that what you expect is literally what will come true. I genuinely had the belief that I couldn't stick to my diet. Oh man, I've failed so many diets before. I can't possibly lose weight and, look good. What this meant was that because I genuinely held that belief in my mind, I unconsciously acted in ways that ensured my failure, which meant that I basically self-sabotaged myself on my journey. This is basically the self-fulfilling prophecy. What you believe about yourself will come true one way or another, because you will make it come true. Now, what I did was that I voted for my future identity or future self daily. Now, every single action that I took either reinforced my new identity, the person that I was becoming, the person that I was evolving into, my future self, or every single action that I took reinforced my old identity, my old fat me, right? And so what I did was that I thought about how my future self would act. What were his traits? What were his habits? What did he do for fun? What did my future self do on a daily basis to get that like new body and to get that lean, muscular physique that I've always wanted? And I just acted as if I was already him. Now, every single time that I did this, every single time that I made the right choice, I collected proverbial evidence, right? I stacked rocks on a scale that sort of showed me who I was becoming. Every single time that I made the right choice, it showed me that I was becoming the person that I wanted to be. I was leaving behind my old self and I was turning into my new future identity. Now, I also want to talk about locus of control, internal versus external. Back when I was fat, back when I was full of like doing the shit habits, I had an external locus of control. And if you don't believe me that like this is important, you can see this study right here. Locus of control literally is associated with higher self-control. Basically, what locus of control means is the extent to which you believe that you can influence yourself and the outcomes that happen to you. An external locus of control means that the things that happen to you, you attribute to external sources outside of yourself. So I well and truly believed that it was my genetics that was keeping me fat and stuck where I was. I believed that it was because my parents fed me too much when I was little. That's why I was overweight. That's why I couldn't lose the weight. I thought it was because, my mum was fat, so therefore I was always destined to be fat. That is what kept me stuck. That is what kept my past identity stuck exactly where it was and made me not make any progress and just, kept on spinning my wheels for years on end. But I only made progress when I switched to an internal locus of control. This is where I genuinely believed that any changes or any improvements that I wanted to make for myself will come from me, myself, and me only. I basically took responsibility for myself, and I decided that I wasn't just going to wait until things fell into my lap. I wasn't just going to wake up and become lean one day. I actually had to get out there, take control, and to take action on the goals that I wanted to achieve. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Now, the way to really blitz through all of this and to really become your future self is pretty much to meditate and to visualize yourself already as your future self so that you can step into that person's shoes right now and to just act as if you already are. Now, this is some deep spiritual concepts here, but basically, if you want more information on this, read the book Reality Transurfing. That book will honestly change your entire journey and change your entire life if you let it. Now, here is the, a bunch more support from identity to an action. Literally, your sense of identity supports the idea that behavior is related to identity and has been found for assessing identity in relation to and promoting many actions such as health behaviors. Now, this includes food choices. So your identity literally influences what food choices you make. And obviously, hopefully, that gives you more of an insight as to why changing your identity is so important to being on this journey and to making fat loss as easy as possible. Now, the next is number two, pillars of fat loss. And this section is really, really simple. So I'm pretty much just going to blitz through it. Now, number one, daily habits. Track your calories every single day without fail. Absolutely self-explanatory. I don't have to, say this anymore. It's already been said to death online, and literally every single person online says it for a reason. So just do it. Number two, meditate every single day. Being more mindful literally saved me more times than I can count on my weight loss journey, okay? If you're more mindful, you can stop yourself before you unconsciously reach for the snacks or for like the food or like the junk food that you always turn to. And that's why meditation is so important. That's why every single self-help or like self-improvement YouTube video tells you to meditate. They do it for a reason. Now, number 2, walk 10,000 steps every single day. Back when I was fat, I wasn't fucking walking anywhere, bro. I was doing like 800 steps a day. 800 steps a day. That is shocking. And that is just, quite frankly, embarrassing that I have to sit here and tell you that I was doing 800 steps per day. But honestly, when I was walking 10,000 steps every single day, it gave me like this sense that, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm on this weight loss journey. I'm going to go do my steps. I'm going to burn like 300 calories just from doing this. I'm on the fucking journey now. That gave me that like reinforcing positive momentum that I needed to like get myself to stick to the good habits. Now, journal every single day. Basically, just do it, okay? Basically, what this does is that it makes you less emotional throughout the day. If you've noticed that the times where you binge eat or where you overeat is when you're emotional. So if you journal every single day, you literally become less emotional, or you have less emotional outbursts every single day. And that fucking was so incredible for me. Go to the gym at least 3 times a week, self-explanatory. Good sleep every single night. This should be one of your priorities. Honestly, like, good sleep is literally the number 1 needle mover of fat loss. Now, another one is visualization. This is a supportive study for visualizations. Basically, people who visualized throwing basketballs into hoops improved just as much as those who actually practiced shooting basketballs. Yeah, that literally just goes to show you the power of visualizations. So visualize yourself like already as your future self and just act as if. Now, the next section is on clean eating. Cut out all junk food from your diet. Remember how I said sugar is literally worse than cocaine? Bro, I couldn't break free. I couldn't make considerable progress until I cut out all junk food from my diet. Now, so what do you eat instead? What is healthy food, right? Stick to 1 ingredient foods only. Now, this makes sure that all of your meals are healthy and low calorie. Basically, 1 ingredient foods. The only ingredient in sweet potato is sweet potato. The only ingredient in beef mince is beef mince. Make your meal consisting of only like multiple 1 ingredient meals. For example, a meal that I'm having constantly for like the last like month or so is beef mince, sweet potato, and rice. That's literally it. All of those ingredients have 1 ingredient inside of them. Eat for purpose over pleasure. You're here to lose weight, okay? You're not here to get pleasure from your food anymore. That was your old fat self talking. This is your new self. This is who you're evolving into. Prioritize purpose over pleasure. Now, obviously, I have to say this just in case you don't know. Be in a 500 calorie deficit, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, 0.4 grams of fats, and just fill up the rest of your calories with carbs. When your weight loss plateaus, deficit needs to be increased. So either increase daily steps by 2K, increase 30 minutes of cardio weekly, spread out, however you want, or reduce carbs, reduce 200 calories of carbs. Now, optimize your diet for good sleep. Have your biggest meal right before you go to bed so that, you have the best night's sleep. Because remember how we said good night's sleep is literally the biggest needle mover for fat loss. Now, building an aesthetic body in the gym. Choose a workout plan, literally fucking any workout plan. My workout plan that I chose over here was absolutely fucking atrocious, but it still built my physique. I was only going to the gym like 3 days a week, bro. And like maybe on some weeks, 4 or 5 days. But that's just because, I really enjoyed the fucking journey. But literally, I started off with 3 days in the gym and that built me this physique. Like you don't have to overcomplicate it. Just choose one and fucking stick to it. At the very least, 3 times per week. Now, I want you to progressively overload your weights in the gym like your life depends on it. Push yourself. Be intense as fuck with your sets in the gym. You need to literally grow new tissue, new muscle in the gym. Force yourself to grow in the gym. That's like, if you're going like a low number of days per week, this is exactly how you need to train in order to see the most amount of results. Now, your gym training should be one of your top priorities to lose weight, along with obviously, sticking to your calories, good sleep, and doing all the work that we just talked about, changing your identity. Get stronger, right? Fucking progressive overload. Now, I don't want to hear none of that bullshit that, just because you're in a deficit, that means you're going to get weaker and weaker. Bro, I was literally, when I was making this transformation, I was getting stronger week on week, contrary to what everyone else online tells you. Don't believe him. You can get stronger. And remember what I said, the self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe that you can get stronger whilst you're losing weight, obviously there's no other choice but for you to get stronger. And it works vice versa as well. But believe that you can get stronger, and you will. Now, number 3, the consistency paradigm. I've literally given you all the tools, but how the fuck do you stay consistent, right? Let's get on to that. Navigating your journey, the valley of despair. Now, basically, this is what happens to everyone's journey, right? I started off the countless amount of times that I've failed on my diet. This is what stopped me. Basically, everyone goes through a stage of uninformed optimism, and stage number 2 is informed pessimism. Stage number 3 is the deepest, darkest valley of despair, where people think that, oh man, I'm not going to make it. Now, when I was at this stage, I constantly had doubts, anxieties, and like fucking self-doubt in myself that, was I even going to lose the weight? I'm putting in all of this work, like I'm going to the gym religiously, I'm tracking my calories every single day, but is this even going to work? Is it even going to be worth it in the end, if it even does work? Now, you need to get past this stage, and the way that you do that is by having this big goal that you have to hold yourself accountable to. That's how I did it. Basically, every single time that self-doubts came in, I thought to myself, I have to lose weight. I have to do it. I have to get to that goal no matter what, because literally my life depended on it. I would see myself as a fucking failure if I didn't lose the weight. And that is exactly why I lost the weight. And that's why it felt fucking effortless for me, because it was literally do or die. Now, obviously, I wasn't going to kill myself if I didn't lose the weight. But in my mind, I was worse than trash if I didn't lose the weight. If I spent my whole life without seeing what my abs looked like. And that is exactly the mindset that got me through literally everything in this. Now, another useful one was I set micro goals for myself. Basically, I broke down my big weight loss goal of like 12 kilograms, like 12 or 15 kilograms, into small increments of 4 to 5 kilograms. That way, because I wanted results now and I wanted like instant gratification activities, basically, instead of seeing your weight loss as like a big time frame, oh man, it's going to take me 12 weeks to lose the weight. Now, what if I focused on just 4 kilograms? Now, that way, I had a very like short-term, immediate goal to aim for. And then when I hit that goal, that was like a very nice like dopamine spike for me. And I felt like very, very rewarding for that short-term goal. And then I could move on to the next short-term goal, which was lose a further 4 or 5 kilograms. And then you just keep on doing that until eventually you get to your big weight loss goal. Now, obviously, I use data. Like, data is king. I took progress photos every single week. I tracked my weight every single day. I logged and tracked my calories every single day as well. And basically, I did this to prevent emotional decision making and to reinforce my good habits. Basically, if I could see the data, now even though 1 week it didn't look like I've lost much weight, but then I could see the data and it's literally telling me that I've lost 1.2 kilograms this week, then obviously I wouldn't change anything in my diet. Whereas if I didn't have that data, I would just be all emotional and be like, oh man, I'm not fucking losing the weight. I need to do something. And then I would just drastically drop my calories without thinking about it. And that was why I failed my previous diets, because I wasn't tracking anything. Now, another thing that I did was that I escaped the someday mentality. Oh, I'll start losing weight someday. I'll start tomorrow. I'll start at the next month. Okay. I'll start next week, Monday. Okay. Because that's a good time to start, right? Bullshit. I called bullshit on myself, and that's exactly why I made progress that one time. I made a non-negotiable commitment towards embarking on this journey right here, right now. And I removed any excuse for myself, and I created a sense of urgency for myself. I need to do this. I need to lose weight right now. It's now or never. It's do or die. And that was a big part of my success. Now, the next thing is how to not need discipline, motivation, or willpower. Literally, willpower is a battery. So I chose very carefully when I used it. And you can see here, this literally says like self-control and, they call it ego depletion. But basically, self-control is a finite resource. Self-control, bro. But the thing is, if you're relying on willpower and self-control constantly, it's eventually going to run out like throughout the day. And obviously that's when you fall off track, and that's when you go back to your old binge eating ways. So basically I structured my day to minimize my use of willpower. I minimized the decision fatigue. For example, I meal prepped and I set my workout schedules religiously, so I didn't burn out over the long term, and I needed to reduce the need for willpower. If you walk into a kitchen and you're like, what do I eat? Do I eat that junk food over there? Or do I eat this thing over here? Or do I eat my meal prep? Obviously, it takes less willpower to choose the healthy meal prep, if there is healthy meal prep in the fridge, versus the decision of, do I eat the junk food meal over there? Or do I make an entire meal from fucking scratch? Obviously, it's so much harder, and it's going to use more willpower to make that meal, like to make that healthy meal, than to just fucking order McDonald's. So reduce the need for, using willpower throughout your days. Now, another big thing was that I realized that discipline is an emotion. Okay, it's not something that you just pull out of your ass every single day and use it to lose the weight. It's an emotion. And in order to be truly disciplined so that you can easily get to your goals, I had to be emotionally aligned to my goals rather than just forcing myself to act. I didn't want to lose the weight, okay? I needed to lose the weight. I've already been over this. But the thing is, I would see myself as a failure if I didn't lose the weight. And so that's what kept me pushing through literally all the trials and tribulations on my diet. Now, the final thing is automating your habits. Now, this was one of the best things that made everything incredibly, incredibly easy for me. I got all of the things that I needed to do every single day to lose weight from what I've outlined in the section before. And I literally made them into automatic habits so that I didn't have to rely on discipline. I didn't rely on motivation. And I didn't even have to use that much willpower. Why? Because everything was already a habit. There were already unconscious habits that I just did on a day-to-day basis. Now, how do you make everything a habit? Well, you basically just have to reach the takeoff velocity, which we're moving on to right now, boys. Basically, the rocket going into space, I want you to think of a NASA rocket, okay? Now, the rocket, to go into space and to break through the Earth's atmosphere, it literally has to battle against the force of gravity, right? And it does this through its rocket thrusters, okay? Now, I was trying to lose weight, okay? That was my goal. Now, to do this, I had to battle against temptations, cravings, and laziness, okay? And the way that I did this was through forcing myself to do the good habits at the start. Now, the rocket, right? The rocket only needs enough force and acceleration to break free of gravity and enter space, Simple enough, right? Once it's in space, it doesn't need as much like rocket thrusters or like rocket force. So it just disengages and throws away all of these thrusters. And from this point, it literally just glides through space to get to its destination. Now, similarly, I only had to force myself to do the good habits up until the point I broke free from the temptations, cravings, and laziness. Now, once I broke free from literally all of these things, I didn't feel any resistance on the path towards my goals. I just glided on through to my destination. I didn't need to put in the level of effort like I did at the start, when I was like forcing myself to constantly do the good habits. Basically, the uncomfortable became comfortable, and the healthy habits were now just my natural impulse. The rest of the way was literally like going downhill on a bike. That's how easy it was to lose the weight. Now, this was originally created to rewire a person's brain so that they could lose weight incredibly easily and get abs in 12 weeks. But literally, the thing is though, in those 12 weeks, it didn't just change the way that I looked, but it literally changed the confidence and the mindset that I gained from the journey of losing weight and to getting like this aesthetic physique. Literally power leveled all other aspects of my life. My social skills went up tremendously. My attraction went up literally 100 times, and I got way more respect from others. I finally felt fulfilled in myself, and I was no longer lost in life. I wasn't just going by the flow. I took life by the balls, and that's exactly what losing weight through the mental mastery model gave me. Now, all of those things that I gained, I will keep with me for the rest of my life, and I'm just going to be constantly improving upon myself because of all of these things that I've gained. That's exactly how powerful this system is when it's executed properly. And as you can see here, these people have executed it flawlessly, losing 20 kilograms, losing absolutely getting shredded for his Muay Thai fight, which he later won, by the way. Absolutely amazing. So now that you understand exactly how all of this process works, I've got an offer for you. If you're someone who's hating the skinny fat or fat person that you see in the mirror looking back at you, if you're someone who's tried dieting, if you've tried tracking macros or watching countless fitness videos, but you still cannot stay consistent, if you're tired of seeing your man boobs, your saggy love handles, your just unflattering body, or you just hate people taking photos of you, and if you're ready to lose the weight, to get abs and to look amazing with your shirt off, if you're ready to lose weight, get shredded effortlessly, and if you're ready to be way more confident in yourself and your body, literally 10x, 20x the amount of confidence you feel in yourself, if you're ready to lose 12 kilograms and get down to 10 to 12% body fat easily in the next 90 days by using the mental mastery model, I can replicate this exact same process for you and get you leaner in half the time that it takes you to figure it out alone. Now, basically, all you need to do is hit the first link in the description and book a call to see if you're a good fit for the program. It's just going to be a chill, relaxed call, and worst case scenario, if it turns out that you're not a good fit, I can at least give you a bunch of free resources and point you in the right direction to help you along in your journey. Now, make sure that you don't lose this opportunity. It's literally a once in a lifetime chance to make incredible changes in your life and to maximize your potential. I will personally make sure that you don't waste any more prime years of your life spinning your wheels and staying fat and staying trapped in the body that you currently hate. If you're serious about losing weight, this is the exact opportunity that you are waiting for. So hit the first link in the description and book a call. I will speak to you very, very soon. Hopefully this guide has been incredibly useful to you. See you later, boys. Peace.